Would the members of the concert choir please join the choir to our left, please? Class of 2009, please remain standing. Audience, please rise for the presentation of the colors by VFW Post 295. The concert choir will now perform our country's national anthem under the direction of Elizabeth Hermanson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Thank you, VFW Post 295. At this time, would you please welcome and give a warm reception to the class of 2009. Be seated. School Board Chair Bruce Haggerty, Superintendent Hemanover, honored board members, seniors, parents, friends of seniors, I'd like to welcome you to the 102nd commencement exercise of South St. Paul High School. Seniors, this is a special day. Look at the large gathering of people, all here with one purpose in mind, to honor you and share in your success. Before I get started, I have to just take a look at this gorgeous weather. Thank whoever it was that provided us after 2 years being inside. We are happy to be out on the field in the home of the Packers. I'd like to introduce some special guests who will be participating in our ceremony this evening. Each of these people has made difference in the education for our seniors. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing until everybody has been introduced. Department representatives, Mr. Sean McLaughlin, Art. Miss Lori Peterson, Business. Mr. Jay Nix, Industrial Tech. Miss Betsy Destash, Language Arts. Miss Sue Stabnow, Math. Mr. Paul Bergren, Music. Miss Heather Osgard, PE and Health. Mr. Robert Peter Fessel, Science. Mr. Jeff Flugum, Social Studies. Miss Sue Eknes, Special Education. Miss Sarah Voss, World Language. Miss Gail Klein, Family Studies. I now would like to introduce our very, very special school board and their members, Miss Deb Clark, Miss Shelley Forster, Miss Wendy Felton, Miss Kay Erickson, Miss Ann Cunahan, Mr. John Voyevich, and on stage with us, Mr. Bruce Haggerty. Seated on stage with us this evening is board member Mr. Bruce Haggerty, Superintendent Ms. Patty Hemanover, our distinguished graduate Mr. Robert M. Carlson, faculty speaker Mr. James Woodburn, and high school administrators Mr. Chad Sexauer and Dr. Trevor Johnson. These fine people represent just some of the many teachers, staff members who have touched the lives of our graduates over the years. Seniors, I want you to now at this time, along with me, give them a large thank you. I want to publicly thank, on my behalf in our seniors, the South St. Paul Education Foundation scholarship donators. Through their generosity, and please hear this number, $2,000 and $21,000 was distributed to members of the class of 2009. These scholarships provide annually to our students to help with their future educational plans. 102 seniors have received scholarships this year, which means that's 53% of the seniors graduating have received scholarships. Let's have a round of applause for all the scholarship donors and the students who won these awards. Class of 2009, like all graduating classes, in their own way, are special. Did you know class of 2009 started as little 7th graders the same year that Mr. Manning started as high school principal? Yes, I remember you as cute little shy children. Now look at you, mature, intelligent, confident young adults ready to meet the challenge of today's world. Did you know that although your class is one of the smallest graduating classes in recent South St. Paul history, your class has the largest number of IB diploma candidates, 34 in the school's history. Did you know that your class will be graduating as the first class that can proudly say that you are graduating from the first K-12 IB public school district in the state of Minnesota? There are a few people that we want to honor right now, and as I call your name, please stand. The class of 2009 would like to publicly congratulate Principal Connie Garland of Lincoln Center Elementary, Principal John Lolliberty of the Kaposia Education Center for receiving their primary year's program authorization. I would also like Principal Kathleen Johnson and Principal Dr. Trevor Johnson for receiving the middle year's program authorization. This is a tremendous accomplishment, and these people did an outstanding job. Did you know that classmate Mike Thury received a presidential appointment to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point? Did you know that your class was the first class in school's history to have homecoming videos shown throughout the school using our school's modern technology? Class of 2009, please remember and live by 4 little guidelines that I'm going to leave you with as you leave South St. Paul. Number 1, be yourself. Follow your path. Pursue your heart's dream. Number 2, through hard work, you can accomplish anything you want. Number 3, be thankful for the role models in your life and be one for someone else. And number 4, remember your roots. You'll be a South St. Paul Packer forever. I now have the honor of recognizing and presenting to you the valedictorian and co-salutatorians for the class of 2009. As I call your name, I ask that you come to the stage to receive your medallion and recognition for your accomplishments. Our valedictorian, Rebecca Rosbach. Please come up, please. Rebecca's father is Jack Rosbach. This is heavy. I'm going to let you worry about getting it on. Like it. Can we try it? It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. You're going to have to hang on. Okay. Okay. Thank you. forgot to check out the length of the little band that goes around. We'll have to work on that for next year. All right. At this time, I'd like to present our co-salutatorians. They are Paige Patet and Lauren Peltier. Paige's parents are Lincoln and Janelle Patet, and Lauren's parents are John and Kelly Peltier. Whichever way, you get the same problem.
No problem.
Congratulations. Same thing, I can't get it over there. All right. Don't run away, ladies. Now, we have a very, very special presentation for you, as Paige and Lauren, as they're going to give you, as co-salutatorians, a co-address for you, the class of 2009.
When we were asked to speak tonight to our graduating class, we didn't really quite know what to say. Being a high school senior, we procrastinated on schedule and trying to think of a message that would be worthwhile. So we looked back on our time spent at South St. Paul High School and became aware as to how much our class has grown and changed together.
The summer before our 7th grade year, both Paige and I joined a short summer program called Becoming a Packer. In the week-long session, we learned about activities at South St. Paul, the location of key parts of the school, how to succeed as a student, and simply became more comfortable with the upcoming school year. Although we did learn substantially about the school through the program, I don't think we actually understood what it truly means to be a Packer until our senior year was coming to an end. Seniors of 2009, all of us are Packers. We have been for years, but have you ever really considered what it means to be a Packer? To us, being a Packer does not simply mean someone who attended South St. Paul High School. A Packer is one who has grown to become an integral part of the personality, active life, and community of South St. Paul that we are a part of today.
It cannot be denied that the class of 2009 has acquired a distinct personality and style throughout the school and community. We have learned the ins and outs of our school, the tricks of the trade, now mastering them with ease and success. We have learned how to get into the lunch line quickly on Crispito Day, the best ways to decorate our class hallways with as much class colors as possible, and in some cases, how to dodge the school sweep implemented this year. As a senior of 2009, we'll never forget being the ferocious freshmen, the sophomore stunnas, the junior jocks, or the senior soldiers, and it will be hard to forget all those crazy dress-up days like Twin Day, Crazy Clash Day, and Stoplight Day, which I remember a lot of single boys wearing green that day. We also will never forget the memories from each of our homecoming, mistletoe, and prom nights. And how can we look over the experiences we were a part of in the classroom, where our coaches, teachers, and staff pushed us to become the best version of ourselves. All of these things will not be forgotten.
As we have grown through the sharing of all these experiences, the class of 2009 has developed their own unique sense of what a Packer is. We ourselves have discovered that only a Packer can walk through the hallway and know almost every student and teacher by name. Only a Packer would recognize names such as Slash, Mad Mike, Squid, G. Rhodey, C. Danks, D. Walls, Hootie Cates, Luke Dog, B. Marcus, Magoon, etc. And only a Packer would respond to these names. Being a Packer means going above and beyond what is expected to provide enthusiasm, excitement, and entertainment to their fellow classmates, as demonstrated by this year's homecoming videos that will be remembered, admired, and mimicked for years to come. Being a Packer means appreciating all the great teachers and staff that put in an effort to provide us with a great education. Who else would appreciate Anderson's incredible fashion sense with his sweater vests, or Felton's loud music appreciation, or Woodburn's eye-catching PowerPoints?
When looking further at what our class has created a Packer to be, it is greatly apparent that activities have become a great way for us to become involved and use our talents. Even though it has been thought and said that the class of 2009 lacks a certain amount of talent, if we really do look at what we have accomplished, we have really achieved a lot. Our class has contributed greatly to the past 4 years of success to many of South St. Paul's activities, including boys and girls hockey, boys and girls soccer, track and field, speech and debate, dance team, knowledge bowl, theater, and many others. Between state tournaments, section finals, and sold-out performances, our class has demonstrated that we are talented and have found that a Packer is one to be reckoned with on the field, in the classroom, and on the stage. Beyond simply being involved, a Packer is also one who supports their teammates and peers. Who else would have come back to school after hours to watch a fellow student perform an interpretive dance choreographed on his own? A Packer would.
And finally, we have seen the Packer as an integral part of the community of South St. Paul. Teachers, coaches, and our families have provided an environment fostering a sense of togetherness that, throughout the years, has created a family within the class of 2009. In these 4 years, we have become a version of ourselves that we will never be again. We will change and move on, but to each of us here tonight, we will be remembered as we were, as the Packers that we have become.
Our senior year will come to a close tonight, ending one chapter of our lives. We have all waited for this moment for years, and it may not even seem like reality until we do not return in the fall. We will no longer be able to take for granted the amazing memories we have made at South St. Paul. The teachers, family, and community that have watched us grow throughout the years must now watch us go on and fulfill our own dreams. And although it is rather frightening thought, all of us share in the confidence that we are Packers, and we always will be.
Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. Congratulations, class of 2009. A new road begins here.
Great job, Paige and Lauren. I probably have to look up to see if they're doing any advertising. No, we're okay, so we can go on. That's supposed to be a joke. You guys are supposed to laugh. I'm trying my best. Give me a break. All right. All right, members of the audience, you may be wondering about the meanings of the different medals, sashes worn by the students. As they came in today, you will have seen students who are wearing gold tassels, which means they are members of the National Honor Society. Students wearing gold medals are International Baccalaureate diploma candidates. The students wearing silver medals are the International Baccalaureate honor students, and the students wearing gold sashes are in the top 15% of their class and are graduating with honors. Congratulations to you and all the members of the class of 2009. I would now like to introduce Superintendent Patty Hemanover, who will be presenting our honorary diploma.
Good evening. As superintendent, it is my honor to present the honorary diploma. This diploma is awarded for outstanding service to our school district and community to a deserving individual who is not a graduate of South St. Paul High School. It is my pleasure to announce this year's recipient of the honorary diploma is Mr. Worth J. Stiles. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Stiles' children, Dan, Tom, and Jane, to please join me on stage. Mr. Stiles grew up and attended school in Leroy, Minnesota, left home to join the U.S. Army, and later attended the Minneapolis School of Transportation. Worth and his wife, Mary, were the founders of Safeway Bus Company, which had been the transportation company for South St. Paul Public Schools for 32 years. He was very proud of the fact that all three of his kids chose to follow in his footsteps and be a part of the transportation business as well. As a successful owner of the transportation company, Worth Stiles has had several awards. The St. Paul Public Schools Outstanding Contract Award, the River Heights Chamber of Commerce Eagles Excellence Award, the Minnesota School Bus Association Outstanding Service Award. In 1994, he was asked by Governor Arne Carlson to serve on the Minnesota School Bus Safety Advisory Committee. Mr. Stiles was a proud resident of South St. Paul from 1973 until he passed in 2008. He was an active member of the community who supported many organizations, including the South St. Paul Education Foundation, the South St. Paul Open, and Kaposia Days. He was a board member of Wakota Arena and a member of the River Heights Chamber of Commerce. Last but not least, Worth Stiles was always committed to our students and their safety. At this time, it is my honor to present this year's honorary diploma to the family of Worth R. Stiles. Congratulations. Who's going to speak?
On behalf of my brother Dan, sister Jane, and myself, we wish to thank South St. Paul Schools for bestowing upon our father, Worth R. Stiles, this honorary diploma. We are honored that he has been recognized for his commitment and service of 32 years to this great city and school. This is where he started his career and ended it with his passing in October. South St. Paul is truly his legacy, and it's hard to express in words how much we appreciate him being remembered in this way. Dad was a great parent, teacher, and mentor to his family, and we are committed to continue to his history of support and service to the city of South St. Paul and South St. Paul schools. Thank you very much.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Trevor Johnson, the MYP Grade 7-10 Principal, who will be presenting our Distinguished Graduate Award.
Thank you. Our distinguished graduate this year is Robert M. Carlson. Mr. Carlson is a South St. Paul alumnus from the class of 1944. During his high school years here in South St. Paul, he was involved in debate, on the speech team, on the Kaposia yearbook staff, and involved in several theater productions. He was also a member of the South St. Paul Education Foundation Legacy Circle. He went on to receive a degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Minnesota. This led him to Michigan and General Motors, working on experimental engine development. Mr. Carlson and his wife Bunny reside in Clinton Township, Michigan. He has been active in raising money for the South St. Paul Education Foundation scholarships. He also worked to have the name of Charles Pearson added to the high school's Veterans Memorial, as Charles Pearson was a member of the South St. Paul class of 1947 who was killed in action in Korea in 1952. With Robert Carlson's efforts in this endeavor, Charles Pearson is memorialized in a way that is fitting of South St. Paul's military sons and daughters. To provide some perspective on what life was like in the year of Mr. Carlson's own high school graduation, In history and pop culture, certainly 1944 is known for World War II and the June 1944 D-Day invasion of France. There was a Nobel Peace Prize that year, and it was fittingly awarded to the International Red Cross. 1944 was a good year for Bing Crosby, as he had the top song in the country with Swinging on a Star, and he was in the movie Going My Way, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture. In 1944, gasoline was 21 cents a gallon. The average car cost $1,200. The average house cost $8,600. Bread was 9 cents a loaf. A postage stamp was 3 cents. The average United States yearly salary was $2,600, and the United States minimum wage was 30 cents an hour. With this perspective, it is my honor to present Mr. Carlson with this distinguished graduate diploma, and now please join me in welcoming our distinguished graduate, Mr. Robert M. Carlson.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for your introduction. I am sincerely honored to be the recipient of this award. And I also want to thank the high school administration and the Board of Education for giving Bunny and me a reason for our being here tonight. It always brings back fond memories when we return to South St. Paul. Many changes have taken place here at the high school in both the building and in the curriculum and in the city of South St. Paul. The biggest change that I saw this trip was that my elementary school, Lincoln, was totally gone, with nothing left to bring back memories, not even a memorial brick. Your grandparents can remember the meat packing plants and the stockyards and the many businesses on Concord Street. 65 years ago, on June 2nd, 1944, I was one of the 149 seniors who walked across the stage of the auditorium and received their diplomas and wondered, as I am sure you are doing right now what? Our country was engaged in a total war, and a number of the boys had already been drafted into military service. And the rest of us looked forward to it when we turned 18. 4 days later, the Allies invaded Europe on D-Day. The continuation of our education was put on hold for 2 years until 1946. In the recent presidential campaign, Senator Obama stressed change. I have lived under 13 presidents since I graduated, and each and every one of them brought change. One observation that I have made is that if one considers a small increment of time, nothing has changed. Last week to today, nothing. But when one considers a large increment of time, nothing is the same. Everyone knows that all progress is a result of change, and also that we should not make changes purely for the sake of change. We also know that all change does not result in progress. Unfortunately, as we have so recently learned, change often can have its unintended consequences. When I look back on the past 65 years, it does not seem possible that those born that year of my graduation are retiring and signing up for Medicare. They graduated in 1962 and are already beginning to think of the 50th reunion of their class in 3 years. I would say that the one field that has resulted in the greatest change in our lives is the development of electronics and the applications of them that includes communication by cell phone, computers for computation and data information storage, and most recently, digital photography. When I was a student at the University of Minnesota and the Institute of Technology at the U between 1946 and 1950, we used a device called the slide rule for all of our computations. We did not have hand calculators, much less laptop computers. The transistor, the fundamental basis of all modern calculators and computers, was discovered in 1947 while I was in school. I heard a speech by Nobel laureate John Bardeen in which he said, "At the time it was considered to be a novel electrical phenomenon with no obvious applications." Another great change took place since I began my career. Most people worked for only one or two employers. It will be interesting to see how many employers each of you will have over the span of your careers. When one thinks of how many jobs people are working at today that didn't even exist 25 years ago, and at the same time think of how many jobs that have disappeared in the same 25 years. You cannot imagine today the jobs that you will be working on when you attend your 20th and 30th reunions. Many of the changes in your careers will be the results of changes in the companies themselves. In no way could I or anyone else have foreseen the change in General Motors Corporation from what it was when I was hired in 1950 as the largest and most profitable company in the United States, building 50% of the automobiles and trucks, to one in bankruptcy, 60% owned by the United States government. With change comes adaptation. I am sure you will adapt to meet the challenges that you will face. Survival in a world with ever-increasing population is something with which you will be confronted as nations and even geographical regions within our own country compete for food, water, energy, and especially personal space. Will you be ready for the population growth policy that will be required if your standard of living is to be anything like that enjoyed by your parents and grandparents? Each of you is going to experience changes as you accumulate knowledge, experience, and skills. The information that you have available, literally at your fingertips, is so much greater than what was available to me in 1944. In conclusion, I wish you all the best. In 1944, who could have imagined that I would be standing here tonight, 65 years later, reciting just a few of the many changes that have taken place in our lives since then. It will be interesting to hear of the changes that one of you will report when you speak to the class of 2074, 65 years from now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Each year, the Senior Council selects one member to give an address at graduation. This year, they have selected Mr. Jim Woodburn, social studies teacher. Jim, come on up, please. Mr. Woodburn, on behalf of the senior class, I would like to present you this little token of our appreciation, and I know you're going to have wonderful words of wisdom for our class.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Superintendent Hemanover, members of the school board, administrators, mayor, members of the city council, parents, family, friends, members of the best teaching staff in the state of Minnesota, and to the best graduating class in the 2009. Before I start, I would like to have a round of applause for three groups that we usually don't thank, but I watched out the window today because my room's right up there in the corner. And those three groups worked so hard today, and they all look so stressed out, and that's the maintenance staff, the secretarial staff, and the tech department. And they put all this together and did the painting there, so how about a round of applause for them? And I was going to give credit to the nice weather to Mr. Manning because I know that everybody wanted that, so that's who I gave credit to. I am so honored that you selected me to give your commencement speech this year. After all, I was lucky enough to teach most of you twice, once in 8th grade and then again as seniors. Thank you for this honor, and I'll do my best to keep my speech short and to the point. I would like to start with 4 good memories I have of your class. The first memory is of the surprise 8th grade dance we did for you. We brought the whole class down to Heritage Hall. A lot of you thought we were doing a sweep back then before they were in style. It was so much fun, but I think you remember how hot it was in there that day. I think it was about 110 degrees. The other 3 memories I have of your class are things that seniors actually said in my class that make me laugh even today. The first was from Dylan Urban. One day in class, a question came up on a review quiz. What is the 25th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution? To which Dylan very quickly answered, it's the amendment that follows the 24th Amendment. I thought, we're in good hands then. My third good memory comes from Allie Rohde. Somehow we were discussing the new German Shepherd police dog that Officer Mike Running would be training in when Allie says, but Mr. Woodburn, I would never want to do that job. It would be so hard to learn how to speak German. Thanks, Allie. My last good memory comes from your class was a note that was left on my desk one afternoon when I left for about 10 minutes after school. I quote from the note, Dear Mr. Woodburn, I can't seem to be able to locate you. I called all the hospitals. You're not in any of them. Where are you? Signed, Matt Barstad. He was trying to make up a test and was very worried. Now to my 10 pieces of advice on life for you. Number 1, give people more than they expect and do it cheerfully. Number 2, people are more important than things. Number 3, remember the 3 R's. Respect for yourself, respect for others, and responsibility for your actions. Number 4, when you realize you have made a mistake in life, take immediate steps to correct it. Number 5, believe in love at first sight. Number 6, life is so much simpler when you tell the truth. Number 7, forgive yourself, forgive your enemies, and forgive your friends. Number 8, go out and be an entrepreneur and achieve great things in your life. Number 9, dream, and when you do, dream big. And number 10, travel. Go to as many new places as you can. Travel to some new place each and every year of your life and experience all that the world has to offer you. Now, being an econ teacher, I had to bring some money along tonight to make everybody a little bit interested, and I have a $20 bill here. And if I asked any of you if you wanted this crisp $20 bill, I bet you would say yes. Oh, see, very easy. Now, what if I crumpled this bill up, though, and I asked you again if you'd want this $20 bill? Would anybody want it? What if I stepped on it and it became dirty and crumpled? Would anybody want it? Well, there's a reason. There's value in this $20 bill. And you guys are very much like this $20 bill. You have value. And I truly mean that. My point is you are valuable. You always have value. You will always have that value no matter what has happened to you and no matter what will happen to you. You are a valuable human being and you will never lose that. As you go into your life, I wish you could remember the 3 rules I gave you for my class. Number 1, work hard. Number 2, do your best. And number 3, do what is right. I wish you the very best of luck in everything you do in life. Understand that your life and your future is nothing more than a series of long nows. Please remember to live in the present. What are you going to do right now to make yours a better life and to make the world a better place to live in? I will leave you with these 2 quotes. The first is from the late, great Beatle, John Lennon. Life is what happens while you are busy making other plans. And the second one is from Casey Kasem of American Top 40 fame, which is a little before your time. Quote, "Keep your feet on the ground, but never, ever stop reaching for the stars." You guys are the best. Thank you, and the best of luck to all of you and all that you do.
Thank you, Mr. Woodburn. At this time, could the concert choir members please join the rest of them? Mr. Woodburn, you destroyed me because I was going to thank the people for this wonderful performance while they were waiting to go up and join the concert. Now I have nothing to say. I've got all this TV time. I don't know what to do with it, so I just have to ramble on. Are you up there yet? Pretty close. Okay. And now for our musical selection, Brave, performed by the concert choir, directed by Elizabeth Hermanson.
Don't know just where I'm going, and tomorrow is a little overwhelming, and the air is cold, and I'm not the same anymore. I've been running in your direction for too long now. I've lost my own reflection, and I can't look down if you're not there to catch me when I fall. If this is the moment I stand here on my own, if this is my rite of passage that somehow leads me home, I might be afraid, but it's my turn to be brave. If this is the last chance before we say goodbye, at least it's the first day of the rest of my life. I can't be afraid, 'cause it's my turn to be brave. All along, all I ever wanted was to be the light when your life was daunting, and I can't see why when I feel as though you're pushing me away. Well, who's to blame? Are we making the right choices? 'Cause we can't be sure if we're hearing our own voices as we close the door, even though we are so desperate to stay. If this is the moment I stand here on my own, if this is my rite of passage that somehow leads me home, I might be afraid, but it's my turn to be brave. If this is the last chance before we say goodbye, at least
This time, if I could please, let's have a big round of applause for our band under the direction of Paul Berggren, and again, our concert choir under Elizabeth Hermanson. Outstanding job. I just love adding things. Because I like to make you just squirm out there a little bit, seniors, until we get to this very precious, precious moment. This time I'd like to introduce Mr. Chad Sexauer, Assistant Diploma Principal.
Good evening. Graduation is a happy but solemn occasion, and the school requests the audience to refrain from yelling or making other noises throughout the roll call of the class. Please respect the viewers at home and stay behind the cameras when taking pictures. Also respect each family's wish to hear each son and daughter's name being announced. Now why we're here, the presentation of the class of 2009. Rebecca Kathleen Rosbach. Paige Marie Patet. Loren Lee Peltier. Rafael de Jesus Alvarez. Mitchell James Ambrose. Nathaniel Donald Anderson. Joshua George Arvidsson. Alicia Rachel Baker. Bailey E. Barnes. John Andrew Barron. Matthew Joseph Barstead IV. Matthew Joseph Barth. Sarah J. Belisle. Angela May Berge. Brianna Lynn Berger. Krista Jean Berger. Nathan Wayne Burney. Kayla Lynn Bebo. Lauren Hope Belke. Stephen W. Bolin. Matthew John Boomgarden. Daniel Marie Bordeaux. Brandy Jessica Branham. Mark Edward Broughton. Colin William Bresney. Catherine Rose Brisson. Justin Ray Brown. Melissa Ann Brown. Katie Marie Bruber. Rhiannon Barbara Brutger. Kayla Renee Burbank. Nathan C. Burke. Jacob J. Cade. Chase Allen Cardinal. Jonathan Matthew Carnes. Nicholas Richard Casey. Cameron Rashad Chapman. Antonio M. Chavez. Joseph James Shooters. Courtney Lorraine Clement. Chad D. Clifford. Timothy Patrick Comer. Jordan David Corbo. Catherine Ann Corey. Amanda J. Cosgrove. Gina R. Catone. Molly Marie Don. Paris Marie Dawson. Nicole Rose Dakota Vaz. Curtis D. DeGidio. Elizabeth Anna Dipple. Cody Robert Dodd. Henry Dominguez. Stephen John Duty. Kayla Marie Eastman. Cassandra Lee Ely, Chelsea Sue Ellingson, Alexandra Lee Elliott, Stephanie L. Erickson, John Riley Ferguson, Joshua H. Fleury, Valerio Flores Jr., Nicole P.F. Gato, Marquise Lawrence Garcia, Rebecca Lynn Gerzina, Jacob L. Gibson, Corey R. Gill, Joshua Adam Grover, Joshua Donald Groves, Samantha Marie Habeck, Robert Aiden Happy, Christine Ann Hazard, Samantha Denise Hill, Patrick Ryan Hawking, Alexander P. Hogan, Catherine Elizabeth Hoots, Frank Irwin Hopp, Erica Isabel Jensen, Brittany Deanne Jurdy, Courtney Charlene Johnson, Heather L. Johnson, Tracy Nicole Johnson, Jasmine Rose Joseph, Rosemary Margaret Josewak, Jessica Rose Kelzer, Deanna S. Kohler, Brianna Lynn Kahns, Kaylin E. Crown, Madison Charlene Keene, Shelby Joe Cavilhag, Nicholas Stephen Levine, Jacob M. Lohr, Anna Marie Lofquist, Abby Lynn Lau, Andrew M. Lozano, Sean M. Luna, Alexandra Ann Mactimus, Anya J. Mars, Marcus L. Mason, Nicole Lynn McFate, Corey J. McGinn, Lucas Francis Mellon, Kayla Jean Metzen, Travis Paul Metzen, Jordan Donald Meyer, Anthony M. Myers, Sean William Meisner, Melissa Margaret Mike, Mercedes Johanna Mikla, Ryan James Miller, Michael Richard Millerburn, Mariah Lynn Milligan, Emily J. Milos, Pablo A. Mira, Alicia Marie Manju, Juanita Marie Morgan, Patrick Lyle Murphy, Mona Lisa Nagasi, Chantel Marie Niederkorn, Dominic James Nitty, Shiana Marie Norcross, Oriana Lynn Norwood, Kiera O'Donnell, Jacob R. Ogilvy, Samantha L. Olson, Kara Ashley Arlene Ullman, Matthew T. Osborne, John I. Pananen, Cole Kenneth Pace, Zachary R. Palmquist, Andrea J. Paulson, Georgia Jean Peterson, Colton Robert Peterson, Alexandra Marie Pladson, Bobby Lee Ann Picorni, Ashley Marie Poplar, William A. Portillo, Allison Elizabeth Rohde, Justin M. Rivard, Brianna LaCour Rogish, Janaea Jean Rosario, Kayla Jean Rose, Peter John Rother, Marcus L. Rothove, Mitchell Tyler Rusk, Nolan John Russell, Alyssa Rose Ryan, Jacob Henry Sapp, Alyssa M. Sacido, Liesel M. Schilly, Eric Joseph Schlemmer, Jacqueline E. Schmidt, Sarah Jane Schramm, Shalise L. Scott, Gregory Lewis Cease, Corrine Yvonne Seegers, Andrea Christine Sethry, Samuel Sievely, Stephanie A. Siebert, Rachel Marie Sims, Elizabeth Eleanor Sirik, Daniel R. Summer, Anna Christine Sunday, Stephanie Rose St. Martin, Caitlin Michelle Stokes, Marcus Madison Stombaugh, Taylor T. Swearingen, Natalie Rose Tapp, Samuel P. Tetrick, Jacob Paul Thistle, Amber Lynn Thorson, Michael James Thury, London Ashley Tenzing, Miguel A. Torres, Samantha M. Tricka, Ashley Ann Triffanoff, Brett M. Cheetah, Rochelle Loren Cheetah, Dylan Christian Urban, Trevor Nicholas Vance, Miguel Antonio Villalba, Scott Edward Voller, Dylan Joseph Wallace, Jacob Michael Wallen, Matthew George Wallen, Crystal L. Warner, Cassandra Jane Wegner, Samantha Joe White, Jessica E. Wilkie, Nicholas C. Wilson, Alyssa Mistill Winberg Hotchkiss, Joshua Kane Zegan.
Seniors, please stand. The moment we've all been waiting for. Graduates, I hereby declare that the seniors before us have completed all of their local and state requirements. As a symbol of your achievements and a new beginning, please move your tassel from right to left. I would like to present to you the South St. Paul community, Minnesota's best graduating class of 2009, the South St. Paul Packers. Thanks, everybody, tonight. Again, thank everybody in attendance tonight. Please drive carefully going home. Seniors, you have 30 minutes to do your celebrating and pick up your diplomas.